Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Bottle Rocket, starring Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson, Andrew Wilson, Robert Musgrave, and James Caan, and directed by Wes Anderson. Now, why am I doing a Wes Anderson series? Well, it's simple. The Isle of Dogs. And I've always been a fan of this director because he makes strange stuff look really good. I'll show you what I mean when we get to these other works, like Grand Budapest Hotel, for example. But let's get into Bottle Rocket. Luke Wilson's character, Anthony Adams, is getting out of the insane asylum, and his best friend, Dignan, played by Luke's brother, Owen Wilson, who I reviewed in the Cars trilogy, is excited to get Anthony out of there and on his final day, and I like those two together because they're a lot of fun to get him together, and I really like the plot of the two plus Bob, played by Robert Musgrave. I think they're a great triple team, in my opinion. I love the scene when they rob a bookstore and how unprepared they were with the tapes on their noses. I thought it was the funniest scene with the robbery I've ever seen in my life. I like these characters. I think they're relatable, funny, down-to-earth, and Wes Anderson does a very good job with not only the characters, but the comedy and quirkiness in making us care. Anthony, as well as the audience, is getting introduced to Inez, and she is a wonderful lover of Anthony, and Anderson is very good at creating a love story between Anthony and Inez. Bob has a family incident with his brother, who is played by Andrew Wilson, being in the hospital, and flips the fuck out when he takes the car to go back with him to help his brother. So Bob will be gone for half the movie, and we'll get to know Anthony, Dignan, and Inez right after that. They're at the bar, and someone who knows Inez was a real chatbox with Anthony. Meanwhile, Dignan gets into a bar fight while he was playing pool with the guy who beats his ass. It was kind of a funny background situation with the camera going right there. Anthony confesses his love for Inez was a very inspiring way to show affection into someone you love. It was great. Anthony and Dignan says some harsh words to each other and go their separate ways because Anthony gives a $500 tip to Inez, which is honestly inappropriate to tip someone that amount of money unless if you're in love with this person. But things turn around perfectly 2 minutes later in the film. Anthony and Dignan run into each other while Dignan wearing a jumpsuit, and was a nice way to get them plus Bob back together. And Anthony was confessionally walking the dog, which was fun. And team up with Mr. Henry, played by James Caan, who is good and a fun presence in this movie, unlike Elf, which I loved. I love the scene when the gang are having lunch at a club and Mr. Henry tells Bob's brother off and breaks his hand. That was a great idea to stand up to someone who's picking on you. Great scene, too. I like the way Anthony finds out Inez loves him, and the way he was dancing was absolutely phenomenal acting by Luke Wilson. The final heist was a fun way to end the movie, with Dignan getting Applejack out of the building, and he gets arrested and thrown in jail, and he almost escapes the prison by pretending to fake his way out. I thought it was pretty fucking great, in my opinion. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 8.4 out of 10. This is Wes Anderson's first film after the short he made before this movie ever came out with the same title. I like the characters, and the plot was absolutely a lot of fun, and Anderson does a great job to make us like and care for the characters. What a great film. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next week I will be back with Rushmore. And until next time, quirkiness!